Hey, what's happening, football fans? Welcome back to The Bald Perspective. On your way in the door, go ahead and tap that like button, hit subscribe if you've never subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you get updates when we upload new content. Let's talk. So, one of the hottest topics right now in the NFL, and if we boil it down and just look at the Ravens, is why Lamar Jackson showed up for off-season workouts, voluntary off-season workouts. And we understood that when he walked into the building, you had guys like Dan Orlowski who had to walk back some of his commentary from ESPN. You've had guys over at Fox say some things. The most recent commentary has been by Eric Mangini that he didn't really like the move, so on and so forth. And I've been kind of gleaning, different commentary, both inside Ravens content creation and then outside Ravens content creation of why Lamar Jackson gets this kind of criticism. And what it really boils down to, and I'll say it because you guys know that's what we do over here. We just have real conversations. Lamar Jackson gets the kind of criticism he gets because of race. Now, let me put a period there so I can make a clear statement. I didn't say because of racism. I didn't say because somebody is a racist. I said because of race. Let me explain. In the world of media, whether it's content creation media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or X, or whether it's national sports media, ESPN, Fox, NBC, CBS, so on and so forth, anything race related is a buzzword for controversy. And when you don't want to talk about racism or you want to avoid the word racist, you can make certain commentary that will generate the same buzz. See, let me be clear. I'm not saying that anybody in sports media is racist, and I'm not saying they operate on racism. That's somebody else's conversation for another time. I'm simply saying because Lamar Jackson, when you look at all 32 starters, Lamar Jackson looks different, sounds different, dresses different, and wears his hair differently than all the other quarterbacks. And when we want to contextualize it, that's even including quote unquote black quarterbacks. And so anytime a sports pundit or a content creator says anything Lamar Jackson, without saying the word black, without saying the word African American, it's going to automatically slice down the line of race, which then automatically generates controversy. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why he gets the kind of criticism he gets. That's the only reason why sports media keeps his name in their mouths, because they understand with any type of critical statement, a critique, whether the critique is authentic or whether it's out in left field, whether it's hyperbole or it's simply a hot take, it generates clicks, likes, shares. And that's how media makes their money. The more eyes and ears they can get on a subject, the more money that they generate. You see, the real color that matters is not black or white. The real color that matters is green. Because that's what clicks, likes, shares, viewership represents. So if we can make a conversation be racial in nature without using race, the media's won. You see, because I'm coming at it this way based upon the player. You see, when you look at he versus his contemporaries at the same position, If you look at the AFC, or if you look at contextually black quarterbacks or running quarterbacks or dual threat quarterbacks, you're still comparing them to the same position group, right? Only Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, and Sam Darnold actively have Super Bowls in the Lamar Jackson era. Now, I may have Tom Brady, but he's not an active player in the Lamar Jackson era. Only them. So then when you take the Super Bowl and you set it aside, now you got to examine, is the guy a winner? Well, you got to say yes. Has he consistently put his team in contention? Whether it's playoff contention or Super Bowl contention, the answer has to be yes. Is he improving every year? The answer has to be yes. Has he accomplished anything at a personal level? The answer has to be yes. So when you've been a winner, you've been an all pro and pro bowler, and you have two MVPs, that says he's done his job at an elite level at the quarterback position. So then when you compare him laterally to Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, the top of the food chain in the AFC. You got, if you want to add in Bo Nix, the young up and comers, and Drake May, those dudes, he fits right in, and he stands out. When you compare him over to the NFC, he still stands out as a winner. So when it comes down to a critique, so then what are we critiquing? Are we really in that lane where we're really upset because he showed up? Because some guys come off as they're upset because he showed up for off-season voluntary workouts. Are dudes really upset that he hasn't been there before? You see, sports media is acting like the conversation around Lamar Jackson is new. He hasn't shown up before. It's not a new conversation if he didn't show up this year. But then he does show up, and now they're acting brand new. So it's really kind of criticism if he does, criticism if he doesn't. Why? Because criticism about Lamar Jackson automatically puts him in that racial box. Why are these dudes who are consistently, for the most part, Caucasian or white, why are they criticizing the black quarterback? It's not because they're racist, and it's not because of racism. It's simply because it's what generates viewership at every level of media. Because the color that really matters, like I said, is green. It's not black, white, various shades of brown. It's green. And people do whatever they want to do to get the green. You see, the whole social media world spins off of controversy. If we got on here and we just talked positively about every player, we just talked about their accomplishments, and we talked about how great of a guy they are, we talked about them donating and volunteering their time, you're not going to get a lot of likes. And better yet, you're not going to get a lot of views. So you have to create that caption, you have to create that tagline, you have to create that title that says controversy. And then when you add in the factor of race, it increases the controversy. And if you really think about it, you guys know I'm telling the truth. Because these dudes who make comments, they can't really believe what they're saying. Because there's tons of facts that says it. See, we're not talking about a playoff berth and a fail. We're not talking about a turnover in the playoffs. Now the conversation is showing up or not showing up for off-season workouts. And so when people ask, well, why does Lamar Jackson get this kind of disrespect? Or why does Lamar Jackson get this kind of criticism? Or why does Lamar Jackson generate this kind of controversy? Because controversy equals green, the real color that matters. And race just happens to be a cash cow. Now let's get into why Lamar Jackson showed up or how it really benefits the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson showed up because he had no other choice. Here's what I mean. I don't think he was moved by criticism. I don't think he was moved by the anticipation as people watched to see if he would show up. I think for the first time in his career, he's walking into a situation where he has a new head coach. Actually, it's the second time in his career he has a new head coach because when he first got drafted, John Harbaugh would have been his first head coach, and then Jesse Minter would be a new head coach. And not only is it a new head coach, but it's an absolutely new coaching staff from an offensive perspective. OC, quarterbacks coach, offensive line, running backs coach, all things are new. And the only way to get a real tangible feel for what's happening is to be in the building. And we understand that Lamar Jackson is a ball player. And so I think that's why he showed up. I don't think he was really trying to make a statement. I don't think he was really trying to prove anybody wrong. I think his decision to walk into the building and participate was for his own benefit, which eventually benefits the team. His benefit is to be able to see and hear what's happening, and the team's benefit is to provoke motivation because if the quarterback, the superstar quarterback, is in the building, then other players should be asking, well, why ain't I in the building? So I think that's why it benefits Lamar Jackson is to get a first-hand feel for what's happening, to touch and feel, not a literal touch and feel, but to touch and feel Jesse Minter, Declan Doyle, what's happening with the wide receivers coaching, what's happening with the running backs coaching, what are the offensive line coaches talking about, things of that nature. You can't do that virtually. You can only do that if you're live and in color, so to speak. And then that benefit of Lamar Jackson being in the building from a team perspective sets the example for the other players. So you guys let me know what you think. And until the next video, I'm out.